Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name's Aiko. Today we're getting into a detailed explanation and discussion about armor and how it works in Blackout as well as multiplayer in Black Ops 4. They do have similarities in the two different game modes and they do have differences, so it's important to hear everything I have to say here so you can kind of make sense and fill in some of the blanks that are there because there are no patch notes and specs on armor here. So I did a lot of testing before making this video and I found a lot of interesting results. Also, reminder, I am doing a giveaway. I'm giving away a copy of Black Ops 4 along with some Black Ops 4 control freaks and the Black on Blackberry Dr. Disrespect G Fuel Collector's Box, which includes the tub, his shaker, and his scoop. So we're giving all of those things away to one lucky winner. There's a link below. Subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, stuff like that, as well as my friend Max. We're doing a collab with that giveaway, and you'll be entered to win. So best of luck. We're gonna pick it at the end of the month here. So enter while you can. Best luck to the winner. So first things first, let's clarify something. Armor is not additional health. So we're not gonna get armor confused with Blackout's trauma kits or the specialist guy, Crash, and his heal specialist ability. Those are separate things. Both of those things in multiplayer and Blackout will add 50 points of extra health to your character. It is not that. Armor is a different thing. What armor is instead is a percentage of bullet damage mitigation, and that fluctuates based on tiers. In multiplayer, it looks like there is one type of armor, which looks like tier 1 armor since it doesn't have any shoulders on it, which we'll get to in a bit. So because this is a damage percentage mitigation, that means your health can still be affected. So it's not that your armor depletes before your health does. For example, tier 3 armor mitigates the damage of bullets by about 65%. So therefore, if a shot does, 30 damage, it's gonna reduce the damage you take on your actual health. Now what that solid bar above your health bar measures in the heads-up display is the armor's durability. So we have the armor's strength, which is the percentage of how much damage it mitigates, and then we have its durability, which is measured in that solid bar, and that measures how many shots it takes before it completely breaks. And then whoever's shooting at you is just hitting you for cold hard HP after that. So for durability in Blackout, I've seen it range anywhere from 3 to 10 shots depending on the tier of armor you have. More specifically, on average, I see level 1 and level 2 armor having a durability of, about 6 shots, give or take. It depends on the weapon they're using, and it depends on the weapon's fallout damage and how far they are from you. Depends on a lot of those things. And then when it comes to tier 3, I've seen it go, anywhere from 6 shots plus, anywhere from 6 to 8, maybe even 10 shots. Tier 3 is kind of crazy. And all of this could be subject to change. There's a lot of complaints happening with the Blackout armor, and we are very early on in the game. So at this point, we're about a week after launch, so who knows where we're going to get to in the future, but this is where it is in this current state. Now moving on, let's clarify how to differentiate what each tier of armor looks like. So on the screen here is going to be a lot of stuff. So here we can see level 1 armor. Basically what this is just a chest piece. Just looks like armor, nothing to it, but it is just a chest piece. If we look at level 2 armor, it is the chest piece plus some shoulder pads, which is a really subtle addition, but I guess once you know what you're looking for, it can be easier to see when you're actually playing the game. Moving on to level 3. Level 3 armor is the chest piece, the shoulder piece, and a helmet. All of the chest pieces have this neck protector collar looking thing that stands out a little bit more than the character's natural attire, so that's kind of a big indicator. The helmet's a really big indicator, and then just kind of look for the shoulders as well to see if it's a level 2, I suppose. To specify what each tier does, we don't have too much information about what each tier does at this point, but we do know what level 3 does. So the strength of tier 3 armor is a mitigation of 65%, first of all. Alright, so on average, if an SMG might kill in 6 shots, and it's mitigating almost 66, almost 2/3 of its damage, and it's normally a 6-shot kill, but you're being reduced, that can turn easily into, an 18-shot kill. You know, maybe a little bit less than that if you hit him in the head, and of course it's only 65%, not 66, so maybe a little bit less than that depending on a few things, maybe even more than that depending on a few things. But that 65% damage mitigation is actually really, really huge. Tier 3 armor is also the only armor, you know, with a helmet. Therefore, it's the only armor to protect against headshots. Tier 3 armor headshots will compromise your armor durability as opposed to your HP. Tier 1 and Tier 2 armor do not protect against headshots. However, if you do get hit in the head, it will take your HP away and not your armor away. So it will not compromise the armor's durability in the solid bar in your heads-up display, but it will compromise your actual HP since they're hitting your actual head without a helmet. Thinking about it now, that could be good or bad, because if my HP is compromised more so, I can easily just heal up. It's a lot harder to find Tier 3 armor to replace the armor that's missing. Just a weird side thought right now. Tier 3 armor also is the only armor that has effectiveness reduction against explosives, fire, 9 bangs, razor wire, and concussion grenades. So as for what Tier 1 and Tier 2 armor do, I don't think they have any special perks like reducing any tacticals or lethals or anything like that, because it's not specified anywhere, and currently we don't have any playgrounds modes or anything like that, so we can't test it. However, I think it's just the damage mitigation and the durability that are scaled differently between the two armors. So this game has been out about a week now, more or less, and we have actually seen a drop rate nerf to level 3 armor, which is good. I think they dropped it by like 75%, so you can only find it in very, very select spots. This is an okay nerf, I suppose. A lot of people are still complaining about level 3 armor and how strong and fucking OP it is. One thing I did see on Reddit is a suggestion to have a feature for armor, maybe Tier 3 armor specifically, to reduce, you know, your flinch. Instead of having it be more rare but super OP, how about, you know, making it not super rare, you know, a little bit more common, but just reducing its OP-ness. Maybe just adding something like reducing your flinch will help compensate and balance it better. So hopefully we see some good balancing, perhaps. I personally haven't played too much Blackout to have a solid opinion on it, but based off the public opinion, it sounds bad. I don't know. Speaking of some headshot damage and how it affects your other limbs, we're going to move on to some of the multiplayer gameplay and the multiplayer research that I was able to do in a private match. This is a lot better and more structured because it gives me more consistent results in a private match as opposed to Blackout. Having to test things in a live server is a little bit difficult. So some of the first things I considered is how FMJ works against armor that we see in multiplayer and how it affects your limbs. So very much so, my testing resulted in if you headshot someone who has the armor item or the armor perk, I don't know what it's called. If they have armor selected in their class as their little equipment or whatever, your headshot damage does not change. I'm going to put a lot of different gameplay here on the screen that's going to show you a lot of different examples. But one I know of is I have I think it's the Cordite SMG at some point here. It takes 5 shots in the head to kill somebody without any armor, and it takes 5 shots in the head to kill someone who does have armor. So like we covered, for Tier 2 and Tier 1 armor, it doesn't cover your head, so if you shoot them in the head, it's gonna hurt them. And it's also not gonna destroy their armor. Again, there's no Tier 3 armor in multiplayer, it's just this solid Tier 1 that we have, so there's never gonna be any helmets or anything to reduce the damage to your headshots. Now, when you read the FMJ attachment description, it says something like, FMJ completely ignores armor, and that is absolutely true. Specific testing and numbers and math shows that it literally acts as if the person doesn't have any armor at all. So this is good if you're going against a lot of people who have armor, but if you're playing against a lobby who doesn't use armor, then your FMJ is basically doing nothing besides the potential to wallbang somebody. But FMJ does not affect people's HP who don't have armor. It only affects people who are wearing armor. But it does completely ignore it, absolutely. So I'm gonna put some numbers on the screen to help me explain and some colors and stuff like that. So in multiplayer, we did a lot of testing. We used the KN assault rifle and the Cordite SMG. I think that's what it's called. I'm just pulling it off of memory that I've read on the screen. So I did test the K9 both at close range and a long distance range, and both times I got 5 shots to kill. That is 5 shots to kill with a regular KN against somebody without any armor. Torso shots, no headshots. 5 shots, all right? And then I also did the same thing against someone who did have armor, 6 shots. Because of the numeric health bar that we have now, I was able to do the math and see how much every single shot did against armor versus no armor. So the colored number or the colored dash or whatever is on the screen here is going to indicate the shot that broke the armor. So that's important because at that point, any damage following that will not have any damage mitigation. So we're going to see a little bit of a fluctuation in damage right there. So you can see for the KN at both distance and close range, same numbers I got here. We started off at a health of 150. The first shot knocked it down 37. So the KN does 37 damage each shot. 5 shots and someone's dead at 150 health. So with armor, you can see that my first 2 shots did 19 damage. Until the armor broke on the 3rd shot, it did 36 damage, and then continued with the last shots being the average of 37 and 37. So my first 2 shots against armor with the regular KN, no attachment, did 19 damage, which is about 51%. So we can see that the damage mitigation for the armor that I'm shooting at here mitigates damage of 50%. We referenced Tier 3 armor and Blackout at a mitigation of about 65%. So we can see, confirm, multiplayer is about a 50% damage mitigation against armor. Just for your sake, if you guys want to see the numbers for the FMJ, it's exactly the same numbers of the first trial with the regular KN against no armor. It absolutely just ignores the fact that there's any armor. The numbers are exactly the same with FMJ against armor as it is for a KN, no attachments, with no armor. Also, like I said, we did this with the Cordite SMG. Here are the numbers on the screen here. The color represents the bullet that broke the armor. So the Cordite, based on these numbers, has an average shot of 28 damage. So a Cordite without any attachments against no armor does 28 damage through and through, 6 shots. All right, so then we throw in the Cordite against a person with armor. We get the first 2 shots doing 14 damage. The 3rd shot is the shot that breaks the armor, so it does a little bit of damage to the armor and a little bit of damage to the actual HP. That shot hits for 17, and the rest, 28, 28, 28, once we're hitting the actual player's HP bar. So the first 2 shots against full armor at 14 is about 50%. If 28 is our average shot and we are knocked down to 14 against armor, that means the armor that we're shooting at, again, has a mitigation of about 50%. This one is exactly 50%. You can see the 3rd shot that broke the armor is at 17 damage. A little bit more damage in that case because we did damage to some of the armor and some of the HP as well. So it knocked it up 3 points. That's where that came from. So both with the KN and the Cordite, I tested how it affects limbs as well. So anything from the neck below will do the average damage. Even hitting them in the arm each time will still be the average. Either 5 or 6 shots for the KN against armor or no armor, and either 6 or 7 shots against the Cordite with no armor or armor. It doesn't matter if you hit them in the arm, if you hit them in the foot, below the waist, above the waist, as long as it's below the neck, it will do the same average damage. I think that's a little bit different with sniper rifles. I feel like I remember a lot of people talking about below the waist damage being reduced by a lot with sniper rifles. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But anything with the neck above ignores armor completely. Just a few reminders there. Wow, that's a lot of information. I hope that all made sense. I hope I put some good visuals on the screen to help explain that as well. And I hope that video didn't go on for too damn long. So if you're new here, consider subscribing because I make videos like this every single Thursday, so pretty often. I also want to shout out my friend Cam Bates on Twitch. So, you know, head on over to his streams. Maybe he's live right now. Hope I can see you in the next new video, guys. Much love to you. Thank you for watching. My name's Aiko. Peace.